For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the Homeland Daily. It's July 1st. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
It is July.
I know. Where
Time
did time go?
passed so quickly during COVID. I'm your host, Liz Charles, and along with me is our co-host, Rico Orlando. Rico, how's your day?
My day's going pretty good. I had some stew beef today, so I felt extra gravied out. But other than that, it's been, it's COVID. So what else am I gonna be doing these days?
I mean, that's the right answer, right? Because like all of Florida, they're like, oh, we still got stuff to do. We got a beach to go to. We got a bar to go to. And they just not smart, but that's okay. That's fine. So I'm going to jump straight into our entertainment report. So those of us on last night's show, I was wearing my glasses. So y'all know this is not 20/20 vision. These are contacts. But those of us who are, part of the four-eyed committee, our four-eyed kings and queens, there may be some good news for us on the horizon. So a new study has found that just for a few weeks, if you shine a red light, it has to be at a specific wavelength. That's like, it's near infrared, but this specific wavelength of red light shining into your eye will help to regenerate your eyesight, essentially.
Wow.
So our eyes age as we get older, but this red light, for some reason, it helps your microbials to start growing back and to heal themselves.
I don't know what that is, but we're gonna keep going.
Science. And that could help. And so they think it'll be really quick to get through FDA approval. The highest success rates have been shown for people 40 and older, where eye degeneration is the worst at that point. But our eyes are typically the first things to start aging. And so this is good news for people like me. Rico, do you wear glasses? Like naturally, or do you just wear like fake glasses?
Nah. What are you gonna say that for? No. So I used to have like a really bad cross eye, and I used to have to wear like these big ass like bifocal glasses just to try to get them to come back together. But I stopped wearing them because they just used to give me like really bad headaches. But no, I didn't get to wear glasses. Thank God I have like really good vision. Thank God for like my grandmother's side of the family who's blessed with that. So yeah.
I remember, I would have loved to have seen you, by the way, in like your little thick glasses, like little Rico. Adorable. I remember when I was like really little, and the first time my mom was going to take me and my brothers to the eye doctor. And I don't know why my mom was so serious about this, but she was. She like sat down with us and she was like, listen, now you need to be very honest when you go to the doctor. You need to know that you do not say anything that isn't true. Like, we weren't lying kids. I don't know why, but I wanted glasses. Like, I was like a 7-year-old who wanted glasses, but I loved carrots because Bugs Bunny was my favorite character. And I'm scared as hell of LASIK. Like, I do not want to get LASIK. Like,
I feel that. But I mean, if it's gonna make your eyesight like 10 times better and you don't have to wear glasses anymore, would you do it still?
I would do this red light. Like, I think for me, the whole idea of in LASIK is like, they like scrape away your like a layer of your cornea. And so
Mm,
the idea of something scrape, and there's a high risk, well, not a high risk, but there's a risk posed
yeah.
with it as well. Whereas with this new red light thing, there's basically no risk of damage to your eyes.
Mm.
Through multiple studies, they've shown it won't hurt your eyes at all. And so I'm like, sign me up for that if and when that becomes ready.
I love that.
Well, in more getting healthy news, so I think like you guys thought I was playing when I said I was gonna start MMA. Y'all thought I was playing.
Tell us, like, what are you talking about, Liz? Tell us
I
more.
now take MMA 3 days a week and have been doing so for the past month.
Okay.
Y'all think y'all be sleeping, okay?
Push through, Liz. Push through.
So I know my coach would be happy to learn that the UFC's Fight Island is very close to opening. So it's 2,000 square miles, and Dana White dropped the video yesterday showing what Fight Island is going to be. And I got to say, it sounded a little bit crazy in the beginning, but they have 3 medical facilities. There's 7 medical personnel stationed on the site. And they've already done 2,000 tests. So each of the fighters has to go through basically like 5 rounds of testing. So you get tested before you arrive, you get tested after you arrive, you get tested at multiple points while you're on the island before they will allow, well, in order for you to stay on the island and in order to like keep it safe. So the idea when it first came up of Fight Island, I was like, this is going to become a Corona haven. Like, there's just no way. One person is going to slip through, and then everybody is going to be a mess.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rico?
I mean, aren't we supposed to be social distancing? It's like, why are we trying to get in touch and all that?
I like that you bring up the fact that UFC is so much touching. Because it is a high touch sport.
Yeah.
And the island that it is going to be on is in Abu Dhabi, and it's an island called Yas Island. I mean, they might not say it that way, but like it's pronounced, it's YAS. As far as I'm concerned, it's Yas Island.
Yeah. I love it.
Anyway, I will say though, this island is bigger than Cayman, so technically speaking,
so Cayman, nah.
So technically, I think we're closer at being the experiment than they are. And in more entertainment news, over the weekend, a young actress named Janine Martins. You can see her on Blackish. She's the little girl on Blackish. She was a part of the BET Awards. They happened this weekend. And she was announcing who one of the awards was going to. Meg Thee Stallion won that category. But she was doing it. She was on her balcony, because everything about the award show was done socially distanced, right? Yeah. And she introduced the artist in the category. She did a cute little dance to, Meg Thee Stallion's song. Savage.
Wait, how old is she?
She's she might have turned 15, but but she's a teenager. She's a child. She's an adorable little girl. And she was the person who got a bunch of Twitter rage from people. So people went after her and were like, what's up with this grandma wig that she's wearing and these veneers that she's wearing? And first of all, I'm gonna tell you why I have an existential problem with this, right? Because what's wrong with you that you're going after a little girl? Like, what's wrong with you? I don't understand.
Does Twitter really care about age anymore? Like, in this time of Twitter, it's like everyone's getting canceled, everyone's getting dragged. I
Solid
hate Twitter,
facts.
to be honest, but then I love Twitter because Twitter is like the first social media platform that gets any like memes or like any news at all. It's always Twitter first, and then it like dies down. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you
It
know
is
what?
what
This
it
little
is.
girl who was the youngest person in Hollywood, not youngest black person, not youngest female, but youngest person in Hollywood
Mm.
to executive produce a film. She did so at the age of 14 with the film Little. And she's someone who's already
Okay.
at her age won 9 NAACP Image Awards. Okay. So she
Mhm.
responded to the video and she got on Instagram and she was like, I'm really sorry that for everyone who was offended by my video. And then she picked up $100 bill and she used it to fake blow her nose.
Oh,
And then she called out people and she was like, the police are out here killing people, but you're worried about me. Remember her name, Breonna Taylor.
oh, I love that. Bring it all back to what's the real cause
Yes.
and the real deal.
Yes. Like that little 15-year-old girl had to check a whole adult Twitterverse.
But
You know
she
what I'm
checks
saying?
everyone. She checks everyone, and anyone that comes with her always gets dragged. I know exactly who you're talking about now when you talk about Little. So, but she's super smart. Like
Yes.
she can direct anything. To me, it's like I've seen like her interviews and stuff like that. She's like so articulate with everything. So big shout out to you. Stay blessed and stay
Yes.
focused. You're doing it. So
We totally support her and I'm all for it. And in our last bit of entertainment news, did you see the August Eslina video?
oh yo, hold up. So Hollywood getting exposed. That's number one. Number two,
The conspiracies are coming out.
Jada and Will are at the top of this whole it's open relationship type thing. Which you know what, to each his own. Everyone has their own relationship status, and
I agree.
everything works for different people, right? But at the
I
same
agree.
time, like now Will is coming back and saying that no, none of that is true. He didn't give him any authority to go up on his wife, blah 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 blah. But if you I looked gave my own little history today, and when you look back at all the different like award ceremonies that Jada and August were at together and how he's like holding her, you can definitely tell that like something else is going on. And even Jada said it herself, is like, if I have to be on one side of the room of the house and you have to be on one side with another person, we'll get there, blah blah blah.
I
She
think all of us thought of that line when this came out. We were all like,
Mhm.
there was that sentence. Because
Yeah,
they've never denied it. Like they've
yeah,
never
yeah.
outright denied that they're in an open relationship. And again, to each his own. You have Monique, who is she's been very open about the fact that she's in an open marriage. Like she's very much like, this is it. This is my life. Here it
Monique, the
is.
Parkers, Monique.
Yes, Monique, like
Okay.
the comedian Monique.
Okay.
She's very open about that. Versus like Will and Jada. And the truth about it is it's nobody's business. Like
Yeah,
if you're in
yeah.
an open marriage or not, it's nobody's business. So I get it if they don't want to share it. But August he's been on Red Table Talks before and
Yeah.
everything.
And you know what? You can look back and just look at the daughter's face in most of this. Everyone knows what's up. It's just everyone is under that NDA that Will all gave them, is like, keep your mouth shut, keep your mouth shut, keep your mouth shut. I don't know. I mean,
August has a broken heart, so he ain't keeping
yeah,
he's speaking up.
he's speaking up, but I'm glad he's kind of speaking up, because who knows like how many other open relationships people were inside of Jada and Will's relationship. I don't know. I'm kind of interested to know who else was inside that whole mix.
We can't help but be curious. That's the issue with it. That is the issue. And that's it for your entertainment report tonight. Reach your own conclusions on Will and Jada's marriage, but for the record, to each his own. That is my piece.
Yes.
And we do have a guest tonight. We have a special guest with us. She is someone who is all about self-care, and someone who is a yogi, and someone who you can really trust for speaking to during this time of COVID, when we are all going through so much anxiety and so much stress. So I want to invite our guest, Janine Martins, onto the show.
Thank
Hi,
you so much.
Janine.
Hi, guys. Hey, Rico. Hey, Liz. Thank you so much for having me on. It's such a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And Dane's not here, but if he was here, the first thing he would say is, thank you for giving us the most valuable asset that you have to offer, which is your time. And we appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. So, would you start off just by telling everyone a little bit about what you do and why you love it so much?
That's my pleasure. I do so much for so many different people, but I guess the best way to describe it is I help people connect to themselves because really and truly that's at the heart of what we all want.
Mhm.
I work with individuals and groups, offering private and group yoga, meditation, Reiki, sound healing sessions. I do this here in Cayman at home, at studios, private gyms, but also going to people's homes directly to their pool, their balconies, their outdoor spaces, and tailoring those sessions to offering them practical tools and opportunities for them to, forget the stresses in their minds, for putting aside things they have to do and really being present in the moment and finding a way to reconnect with what am I feeling? How can I come back to this moment? What do I need? And I love doing this because these are the same things that have helped save me from my own feelings of anxiety, my own feelings of depression, my own feelings of helplessness and feeling lost and not sure, what's my purpose? What's my passion? How do I want to feel? And what's going to help me achieve that sense of feeling? And by doing this work, I feel so much more connected to my own self. So it's this like chicken and egg thing, like who's connected to who here?
Mm.
And so it's just been it's so fulfilling to me, especially during COVID, because this is when my clients have needed me even more. And I found that I've been working twice as much during COVID because either my clients are continuing to work and are working more, so they're needing more recovery, or are not working at all and are like, okay, I can afford to take 2 classes a week or 2 classes a month, whatever their budget is. What do you have available? And I'm doing the best I can to provide as much value as possible to people because I know how much meditation changes your life. I know how much it changes your life when you pay attention to how you feel. And that's really what I do. I give people a chance to pay attention to how they feel and to realize that how you feel makes an impact on every part of your life.
Beautiful.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Janine. And every time that I always like see you in Cayman, like your aura is always like I can always feel that it's glowing. Like every time, even if you're in a big crowd, like I can always spot the aura for some reason. So now everything is all connecting for me. But you were just talking about a little bit about COVID and how that has really affected some of your clientele. How do you keep yourself, from sort of like receiving all of those negative energies and also cleansing your clients at the same time? How do you stay away from those sort of things?
Yeah. I think one of the things is to recognize that when you're in a space with someone who you've identified this person wants to vent to me, or this person wants to unload to me, to acknowledge that, to recognize, okay, I'm in a presence of someone who needs me to hold space for them. They need me to be a witness for their experience. So I need to relax. I need to soften my shoulders. I need to relax my body. Because if I stiffen up already right away, I'm creating more tension within myself. Kind of like when people get in a car accident and the person that's really relaxed, the person that doesn't receive the most injuries, the person that tightens up, the person that often gets the most injuries. Kind of a similar kind of idea. You relax and you just let's just listen, just witness. You're soft in their presence. And you're literally just being soft with them. You imagine your whole body just being soft because your job is just to listen. You're not there to solve their problems. You're not there to be their answer. Most of the time, people actually don't want you to give them the answers. And most of the time, they're actually explicitly asking you to solve their problems. They really just want to be told, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that's hard. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine that's got to be really challenging. So I think that's one thing, is knowing that you don't have to have the answer, but if you can be with someone, that alone can just be a game changer. So I think that's one of the things, is just holding space for someone, letting it be okay for someone to be vulnerable with you.
Mhm.
Can be amazing. That can already be all that they need.
I so agree with you. I love that you use the phrasing hold space for someone or being a witness to them, because a lot of people don't realize how transformative that is, right?
Mhm.
Because, you know, we had the Me Too movement, and a lot of that trauma that those women were experiencing, and what was so major about that movement was that people were just like, finally, someone can bear witness to what I experienced. And
Yeah.
and a lot of people confuse it. They're like, "Oh, you're going after blah 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 blah," but it's like, you just need to know that what happened to you mattered, that
Mm-hmm.
someone sees you. It's so powerful. I wonder, I mean, you said that this doing this practice has helped you with your own depression and anxiety. Can you talk to me about the moment in life that you decided to pivot towards this path, and kind of what was the trigger that caused you to decide to change your lifestyle and to really embrace this way of living?
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that it probably wasn't one specific moment, but I think the clarity came for me when I realized that my struggles were stemming from the fact that I wasn't living my purpose in life. I studied a course in university. Well, I did my undergrad in political science and sociology, but you know those electives are like, yeah, you got to take this and this, and then you take that random ass course. I took philosophy of logic. I also took philosophy of witchcraft, which I would highly recommend everyone take.
Mhm.
I took the philosophy of logic, and in that course, the professor had told us that there is no philosophical argument that can prove, to date, of course, that either that some things are random and some things are connected. Either it's all random or it's all connected. It can't be a little bit of one and a little bit of the other. And I fall into it's all connected category. So I have to believe that my life has a purpose. I'm not just randomly put here just to look pretty on a shelf. Like,
Mhm.
my being present on this earth has a purpose, just like a tree and a plant and a flower and a river and a stream and a mountain. And I was working in the corporate world. I was doing really well. I was successful at my work. It wasn't that I was, getting fired from jobs. I was achieving, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled. And I was
Mhm.
realizing, you know, doing these things were all going along well, but I was still feeling these challenges. And I was like, I'm not living my purpose. That was when I realized I need to shift. If I'm not waking up passionate about what I'm doing with my day, if I'm not excited to tell someone how I spend my days, then I'm not living my purpose. The minute I decided to shift that, there was like a lightness in my life. It was like I was wearing a backpack of bricks and I just took it off.
Hmm.
And I have not regretted that since. That was
Mhm.
the crux. When I stopped doing what I thought I was supposed to do, I stopped being that good Caymanian girl that get the job and then has a husband and does it the way she's supposed to do. She be a good girl and she don't talk up too much and like stop pretending that I want to fit the stereotype that I thought I was supposed to be,
Mhm.
and ask myself, well, who do I actually want to be? And maybe that isn't a mold that I've seen before. Maybe that woman isn't someone I've seen. Maybe I haven't seen her. Just like maybe there's a lot of Black girls who haven't seen that woman before. They don't know who she is. They don't know their purpose. But she's out there. You have to explore it to figure it out. And that's what I did. And thankfully, I come from a position of privilege. So I was able to, I had resources, I had support, and I was able to figure it out. I was my yoga training. I came back. Hard work. I don't come from a family where everything is just handed to you. You might have the resources, but you got to go and get your grind done.
Mhm.
And now I've realized this is my purpose. I'm here to serve, help people connect to themselves, and in the process, I'm more connected to myself than I've ever been.
That's amazing. Honestly, it's such a pleasure to have you on the Homeland Daily Show. My question to you would be, we actually saw you a couple of weeks ago. You were doing a fundraiser, I believe, and it was to do with like working out or something like that with fitness. Can you tell us a little bit more about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that was in partnership with a few different entities. So the fitness component was led by Isaac Boots, and he's a fitness trainer out of the U.S. And the charity was a partnership between three individuals. So it was Gabby Cahill, one of the owners of Palm Heights, the luxury boutique hotel here, um, Elizabeth Chambers out of the U.S., and Tammy Maines out of Cayman. So the three of them came together and they wanted to raise money for the Cayman Food Bank, Conscious Kids, which is actually interesting because that not only targets getting food to kids, but also targeting systemic racism at children, talking about issues of race at a very young age. And I can't remember the third charity right now off the top of my head, but I can get you the three charities information. Total raising, I think it was $185,000.
Wow.
Wow.
So the Cayman Food Bank, I think, was the one that got $100,000, and like they show you pictures of the van going straight to the food bank. So we just basically worked out for an hour while people sent in money. So I really had an easy job. All I had to do was follow this guy's instructions. It was hella hard. I won't even lie, but it wasn't like that's all I had to do. And you're watching the Instagram live feed, and people are just donating and donating and donating. And it was all over the world. Palm Heights were amazing hosts. They had the whole place decked out. We had camera crews who were cheering us on. Like there was so many that came to support us. I can't say enough how amazing Palm Heights was to host that, and they just made us feel so welcome. To raise that much money in an hour, I can't even.
That's amazing.
And there's so many people right now who food is an issue. Like, I assume for you guys, food is not something you're worried about. I'm not worried that lights are going to get cut off. I'm not worried that I'm not going to have somewhere to live tomorrow. I'm not worried that anyone in my close family is going to have to worry about that kind of stuff. So it's important for me to be able to give back to my community. And that was the easiest way I could do that in 1 hour.
That's beautiful. I mean, you were able to do it doing the thing that you feel kind of empowered and like you're suited to do. And, the fact that you did that amazing thing, and that wouldn't, going from this everything is connected mentality, you wouldn't have been able to help give $185,000 to charities in 1 hour had you not listened to your inner being years before when it said, this isn't the right path for me. Like the fact that you achieve that is a testament to what happens when we listen to the voice within and we move with that. Yeah. Can you discuss with us a little bit of your services? Because, okay, so I wasn't good at meditation for like ever. I was like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm good at meditation. And then over COVID, suddenly your girl learned and got better. And then a few weeks ago, I think the guys thought I was I don't know what y'all thought, but I was like, hey guys, I'm doing a breathing retreat this weekend, so I can't, make it.
We thought she was bluffing.
They thought, she fronting. But I really did. I was doing this Sudarshan Kriya breathing workshop, and so and it's been as someone who also has anxiety, it's been something that I have like been really intentional about, like connecting with my inner self. And so can you talk about the services that you offer? Reiki is the thing that I'm like least familiar with, and the sound therapy as well, even though I'm really interested in it. So I'd love to hear about your offerings.
Yeah, lovely. So I offer private sessions, or I teach group sessions, or also offer private groups. I think that's the easiest way to think of it. So for private individual sessions, those are highly customized. So I'll usually talk with the client to find out what your needs are. So what's your lifestyle like? Is it stress management? Are you looking towards your physical body more? So it could be some combination of physical practice, which is what most people think of when they hear the word yoga. But meditation is actually considered, is part of yoga itself. Then there's also sound healing, which could be anything from crystal bowls, which are very much an angelic sound, or I have a medicine drum, which is what you might think of a shaman using, which is that very flat, large drum. I also use chimes, kingsha bells, which are like a Buddhist sounding Buddhist bell that's used for meditation, tuning forks. I literally have a repertoire of musical instruments that I use for that kind of experience. And that takes you to a whole other sensory level, and you move the brain waves into alpha, beta, and theta levels. Reiki energy is a healing energy where you don't actually touch the body, but you use the life force energy, because if there's energy in your body, there's energy in the wall, energy in the ceilings, energy in the air, energy in everything. So you use the latent energy that channels through your hands into the person's body. People experience temperature change, they experience heaviness or lightness. Some people experience movement on the table. They'll literally like convulse almost. Very unique experiences people have. I have clients that have chronic disease. I have clients who, most of my clients are very just high stress individuals. So they're professionals, people who they're working crazy hours. Some of my clients are people who generally just struggle with finding a work-life balance, and having someone consciously there with them to help them with that just makes it more of a concerted effort. So besides private sessions, I teach out of 2 studios here, the club in Cricket Square, which is a private gym, and then Cayman Yoga Club. But to be honest, the majority of the work I do is with private individuals, because most of us need a tailored experience. Everyone is a unique individual, and I think so much of what we're told nowadays is one size fits all. Everyone needs the same thing. And so I have groups that get together, like beach yoga or group sound healings. Palm Heights, I do a lot of yoga with them, and I do sound healings on their roof. So hopefully that will start coming back. We're doing that just before COVID. So hopefully that will come back soon.
I saw that. It was like really cool. Gorgeous. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And the sun's setting while we're doing it. And we always do it on a full moon. So like there's a killer moon that comes out at the end. So it's really diverse. But if anyone wants to reach out, they can just always pick me up on Instagram, free to be Janine. And that's a great way to find out what would suit them best. But I'm always about that. Like, you tell me what you need or what you're feeling, and I'll tell you what can service that.
I have one follow-up question, just because this was something that I learned. So I'm just I'm gonna share it. So one of the things we learned was like about the way that sound works, and the fact that, everything, the way that, sound, each different sound has a different energy. It's a different wavelength and all of that kinds of things, and why why we use that phrase. Because before I was just kind of like, that's a thing that like people who do yoga, they make that sound. And I didn't think that there was anything important to it. So can you elaborate just a little bit more? Because, Rico is a musician, he's a musical artist, but like, can you elaborate a little bit more on the way that sound frequencies work and the way that energy works in general?
Absolutely. So most people think Aum is O-M.
Yeah.
It's actually spoken as what phonetically A-U-M. And when you're singing it, because it's actually something you sing, not really say, you envision the A starting at the very base of the belly, base of the spine, the ooh coming up, and the almost going to the roof of the mouth, crown of the head.
Yeah.
So it's literally bringing the energy from the base of your spine all the way to the crown of the head, because Aum is the primordial sound. It's like the Big Bang, if you will. It's the sound of the whole universe. It is everything and anything. So in that one sound, that one frequency, you encapsulate you, me, Rico, everything in life. And in that one frequency, then, it cannot be contained in a word. So even by trying to device it into this OM, it cannot be named, it cannot be described. Language has too many restrictions, because because frequency goes beyond what language can offer. It goes beyond what our senses can offer. Yoga often calls the language of frequency and energy that which cannot be named. It can only be described what it is like or what it is not. That is what Aum is like. And even the M, you continue to go it by closing your mouth, and the roof of your tongue touches the roof of your mouth, because when your tongue touches the roof of your mouth, you send the energy towards the crown of your head. Crown of your head is the seventh chakra, connecting you to Christ consciousness, enlightenment, connecting you to the universe. So in that one sound, you connect to all things, just as much as you connect to the stars as you connect to the center of the universe.
See, Rico, that's your singing. You're singing that you do. That's all the frequencies, and it helps.
So I sing mantras in Sanskrit. One day we should do a little thing.
Yes,
I'm down.
I'll sing some Sanskrit for you, and you'll be like, "What the heck?"
Because I normally, for me, like, music is very therapeutic, but it also has to be like a certain type of genre. Like for me, normally, like it's only like opera that like really like mellows me out for some reason. I don't know why, but like opera choirs and stuff like that, like it normally like mellows me out. But we're coming closer to the time of wrap up, and this is when we normally ask our guests, to say a few inspiring words to our audience that may be out there who may be someone like Janine who wants to, get into the business of meditation, Reiki, and other stuff like that. How do they go about it? And also, what advice would you give to someone who's maybe just wanting to break out of the norm, get rid of the, the 9 to 5, and really just want to focus on them and try to be something bigger than what they thought they could be?
Yeah. Well, that's a lot.
I know.
Okay, I think I'll focus on just a little part of that. I think a lot of people are they think of yoga as a physical practice only. And I think when you don't know a lot about something, it's easy to pigeonhole it. And yoga doesn't teach you to stand on your head. One of the swamis that I study with, he says this: yoga doesn't teach you to stand on your head. Yoga teaches you to stand on your feet. I think that's what a lot of us wouldn't articulate it that way, but that's what a lot of us are really craving in our life. Is this sense of groundedness under our feet, a sense of feeling truly grounded in, this is where I want to stand, this is how I want to stand here, and I have faith in the foot that I'm putting down and the foot that's following it, that this is the path I want to walk along. And so you just start. If you're interested in a practice, finding a studio in your community, asking a friend if they've been to that studio, looking up reviews. Most of these studios have reviews online. The internet is a great resource for reviews. Everyone wants to give their opinion nowadays, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But as well, looking for teachers that you respect and seeing if they've got reviews on things. I'm always willing to give my recommendations for studios. I've done yoga in at least 8 countries now, especially a lot in Canada and the US. I know teachers all over the world. So I'm willing to give recommendations, but just start. There's always stuff online. So much is free. Just start. If that's not clear, just start. Then things happen. When I started doing yoga and meditation, I meditated for 60 seconds. 60 seconds every day. 60 seconds. I don't remember at what point it was more than a minute, but you just got to start. You got to choose yes. Choose yes for yourself. And choose to stand on your own feet. And that's what yoga will give you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Janine, so much for coming on to the Homeland Daily. We really appreciate your being here and for talking with our audience. You guys, Janine is going to give us the link for those charities. But for those of you who supported, shout out. That's amazing what you were able to do in 1 hour. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. And I think that what you're doing in terms of creating space, like what you did in an hour for charity, again, total props there, but creating space and bearing witness for people and just allowing people space to learn how to stand on their own feet. That's something that's accessible for everyone, no matter your financial situation. That's something that you can learn. You can get that from within yourself. And I would encourage people to reach out to you. What's your website that they can reach out to you on?
www.janinemartins.com.
And you can go check out her classes, or you can ask her for recommendations. Like she said, you can get recommendations for others and videos and things that you can do in order to get to know yourself a little bit better and connect with yourself a little bit better. Thank you again, Janine, for being on the Homeland Show. We appreciate you. Have a good night.
Thanks so much, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Janine Martins. She is a yogi. She is a wonderful human being. I just, like you said, Rico, you're like her aura.
I do. Honestly, it's like, and I've never really formally met her in person, but every time it's like I always just feel myself like gravitating towards her circle. I don't even know why, but I guess it's just the great energy and the positive feedback that you're getting. But I was gonna ask you, Liz, actually, have you ever watched the Netflix show Goop Lab by Gwyneth Paltrow?
Oh, Goop?
Yeah.
Goop Lab? No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, so basically it's like a
I know her company.
Yeah, but it's basically she gives like a bunch of her interns to go to like these different like meditation retreats, or like what she was talking about with the healing of like the energy and stuff like that like I even saw like they went to a doctor and like the doctor was moving their body and he wasn't even like touching it. It was crazy. So I recommend that you should probably go and check it out just to see what it's like. But I think definitely having Janine on was super inspirational, and I think I'm gonna have to go for a couple of things for sure.
Lovely. So what's your last thoughts on this for everyone listening?
My last thought is definitely to go check out Janine. Her Instagram is free by Janine. Let me just make sure, free to be Janine. So make sure you guys go check her out on Instagram. She's super dope. And then you can also check out her website as well. And you know, she does a bunch of different things, not just Reiki and meditation, but a whole lot more. And just to get like your body going. So I big up her. She's a Caymanian person, and to see there's not that many of us to be doing stuff like this. So big shout out to her for, you know, being a pioneer of this sort of industry. So yeah, that's my final thoughts for tonight.
Love it. I think Janine and I shaved our heads around the same time back when I shaved my head. And I just love that sentence that she said where she was like, you know, I just made a decision that I wasn't going to be that person that, you know, the good girl that that good Caymanian girl that everyone wanted, you know, like to be this ornament on a shelf essentially. And she instead felt like she had a larger purpose.
Yeah.
And I would encourage others to feel like it's okay to not be the good girl. Like it's okay to be bad. Like do what you need to do in order to feel connected with yourself and with your truth. You want to do something that others are going to be like, oh, that's crazy, but it makes 100% sense to you.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it, baby.
That's it for the Homeland Daily. Rico and I are both saying it at the same time. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we will see you tomorrow night at 7:20.
Yes. Episode 53. Let's go.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable.